My lunch was awesome. Cheetos.
Cheetos.
Yeah. I mean, I was so tired to cook. I was like, I can make an omelette with bread, or I could have
Man, you
Cheetos.
have to you have to eat eat some proper meals. Stop it.
That's what
Last
my
week you're just having bananas and apples. This week you're moving on to Cheetos.
no. I
Next
just
week I'm
had
gonna ask you and you're gonna be like, I had some ice cream. That's
just
it.
ice cream. Yeah, man, that's
Just
an
ice
awesome
cream.
diet. That's an awesome diet. I should try that. It's dairy. Oh god, that's awesome. I should try some ice
Yeah.
creams.
Hi guys, welcome to episode 5 of Curry Burger. This is a collaborative podcast about life and art between Adam Fitzpatrick and Sammy Saha, two friends and entertainment designers. Now, this episode is jam-packed with stuff. Sammy talks about the problems he had learning perspective and what he thinks about how to use it now. I share about how learning math and art are actually incredibly similar. I know it sounds crazy, but it is the best analogy I can think of right now. And Sammy also talks about his process tackling something complex like a character design and how he can break that process down and really design unique characters. Lastly, he also talks about quite literally how he can stand out in front of a crowd and his plan to do so. So without any further pause, let's get started. Why do you think perspective is so important for an artist to learn, and why do you think it's so hard for them to learn?
I mean, uh, it's the difference I felt after. Now I know it properly. Now I know exactly how it works and everything. The only thing it did not click was we all are in 3D space. We all are, but uh, the technical aspect always sucked. Like if you don't know perspective and you're drawing something in space, you know it is wrong because that's not how it works, but you just don't know how it should be, like how right it can be, how to make it right, just because
Yeah.
you don't know the technical aspect. Perspective for me is not drawing. Like somebody saying I'm drawing perspective, I will not say it's like I'll not term it drawing. It's very technical. It's more like math, you know
Yeah.
it's there in every drawing. If you're drawing like organic stuffs, if you're drawing hard surface, does not matter. Perspective is there.
Yeah, it's irregardless of whether you know it or not.
Yeah,
It's
not
going to be a factor that plays into how the image looks.
exactly. So the struggle I went through was that uh, first of all, did not have much practice, like nobody. I did perspective in my previous school, but nobody put me the way my present school in Singapore put me, but practice was something that was the more you do, the more you understand, the more you get it. As I said, it's like maths. So other thing that also ate my head up was with the sense of eye level, you know, because my
Yeah.
eyes can be straight, then that's my eye level. But what if I'm looking down? Then does my eye level also go down? I had many questions that were
Oh,
very
like
stupid
you
back
mean
then.
like where to put the horizon line and stuff like that?
Exactly. So basically, thing is that they were very stupid questions back then. Now, if you like, if you that's the only reason I started laughing was because uh, the questions that
No,
I had.
it's very valid though, because a lot of beginning artists are going to have that problem, and they're going to have
Yeah,
those same questions. And the thing is, what you learned and what I learned is that oftentimes these questions are just solved by working through them rather than just trying to find an
exactly. And
answer. I had
another.
so many people explain to me the same thing
Mm-hmm.
about horizon line and eye level, and I didn't really get it until I just sat down and I did like 20 compositions of the same thing from different camera angles. And
Exactly.
that's when I really started to learn, oh, this, if you put it here and there, this is how the image looks. If you wanted to just break down my approach to studying now in terms of like the easiest analogy, it would actually probably be how you learn math. Which sounds crazy to say that, like, my approach to learning art is the same as learning math. It sounds crazy. But let me explain really quickly, because it's the same principle. It's not the same. It's not the same subject, obviously. But if your teacher gives you a new formula and she writes it on the whiteboard, you copy that formula in your notebook. Do you know the math yet? The answer is no. You don't know the math yet. She gives you an example problem and walks you through step by step how you use the formula to solve that problem. And you, in your notebook, are copying down the same thing. And you go step by step and you're thinking, oh, I get it. I understand. That's how you do this. That's how you do that. Do you know how to use the formula yet? No. You still don't know how to use the formula. Because when she gives you your own problem to work on now, with just a couple of different numbers, all of a sudden you're staring at your paper and you're like, I don't know how to do this. You know, and we've all been there. I'm sure that at one
Yeah,
point in your life during math, you thought you understood the formula, you're given a new problem, and then you're just like, ah, crap, I got the wrong answer. you know? So
been
art's
there.
actually the exact same way. You watch a tutorial and you're like, oh, I can do that now. No, you can't. You might follow along with him and do the exact same thing. You still don't know how to do it. It's only the moment when you try doing your own thing and you completely whiff it, you completely screw it up, that you're like, oh, I don't actually know how to do this. And you go back and you watch the formula again, you try to reapply it. Maybe you'll get it right a couple of times, but when you change a couple of numbers and you change a couple of variables, you know, it becomes a different problem. It becomes harder to solve. It becomes different to solve. But you need to learn those formulas on how to solve them to apply them to into your own art.
Exactly. And the only thing I would like to add, you told everything, and I think you covered everything. The only thing I would say is art or any subject does not matter. If you ever struggle in anything, if you break it down into smaller bits and pieces, it's easier to tackle.
You were talking about how to tackle a larger problem and how to break it apart
In,
to me.
in
So just
fractions, yeah. Break it
yeah.
down, go to it. So
So,
yeah,
but
and
how would you actually do that with art? Let's say let's say you wanted to draw. Let's say you want to draw a cathedral. You know, this super complicated,
cathedral.
massive building. How would you break down a cathedral?
I'll just go. Okay, my approach is not going to be same as everybody's, and I'm not the architecture guy. So the best question over here will be how you would draw a character. Please, Adam, ask me that again.
All right, how would you draw a character?
Yeah. So basically, recent like on present now, I'm working on a project on Vikings. So as 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 the word is very interesting, Viking, I would not just go and start drawing Viking. I don't know anything. I don't know shit about them. Okay, so first approach would be gather some reference. How do they look? What did they wear? What where they like stayed and everything. Try to get more reference. Try to make knowledge. Educate the brain to get in the state of mind that trying to know what the Vikings did. So that'll help you in character design. Then I would just go on. My second step would be um, basically try to do some rough sketches that's like totally loose and totally rough just to get the ideation out and write some stuff. It's almost like brainstorm, just like make some idea like, oh, this guy
Yeah,
can
kind
have
of
some.
just throwing up your ideas
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
paper.
just don't fall in love with them. They're not your babies. You have to kill them, so uh, just just to make your idea come out, where that just after a while you'll see they have so many things on the paper. After a while, then pick up some from there you like, what ideas you want to go through. Then I would start with the basic gesture, which what pose you want, how you want the character to stand and whatnot. Then I would go gesture to blocking, then giving it somewhat little bit of clothing and sword, armor, and at last I would go on to the nitty bits of the textures and the detailing.
Yeah,
That's
so you'd
that's
slowly kind of build it up from naked to clothed, but even before
yeah,
you get to the part where you draw the pose,
like
you're drawing just like
gesture.
basic shapes and gestures
Yeah,
of different body proportions, and okay, yeah,
yeah, because as you see over here, what I did is that I just did not go from reference all the way to, oh, I have now reference. I know exactly how they look. Shut up, Sammy. I know, okay? And you
yeah,
just did not jump to a final ideation. I mean, you could, but you will feel your stuffs will not look original. You'll feel like you did not put enough effort to it, or you. I feel that it feels very blunt, you know
yeah, sure,
but if
sure,
you go through the like gesture drawing and everything, then you go through like blocking and everything, it comes up to that it's your creation, you'll be proud of it, it's your baby,
yeah,
you know
yeah.
so yeah, that's how I like to break my every problem. Even if it's for environments, I do the same thing. Reference, perspective,
Yeah, no, I
blocking.
agree.
Yeah.
I found that it actually when you're doing like let's say just gestures or shapes and whatnot, the first like five or six you're gonna do are typically the five or six that you're already comfortable with. They're the ones you already know, and when
Mm-hmm.
you force yourself to do like 20 or 30, you're gonna get pretty weird by like number 18 or 19, and that's actually kind of the idea you want to get. And then you grab that weird idea and then you tweak it and you work on that one even more. So and that's actually something I like about digital art a little bit over traditional. Traditional, you do feel looser and you can kind of just, you don't stop because you got no undos and whatnot. But I also really like the idea, especially in the brainstorming phase, of being able to like grab something I like and then like lasso it, warp it, distort it, maybe I'll do a character that's like kind of short, and I'll take the same drawing and I'll cut his torso in half, or I'll take his legs or something, and I'll like drag him down, and I'll make him like super tall. Or you do it with buildings, and like oh, this roof was kind of cool, and you take that roof and you duplicate it like 5 times, and you put it on another building, and you overlap them in such a way that all of a sudden you can make it kind of look like a Japanese house or something. So it's just during that brainstorming phase you just kind of want to play, you want to be silly, you want to explore as much as you can.
Yeah, more creativity out, man. You don't want to be stuck in a closet. Recently I read this book. If you're not noticed in a crowd,
You read a book?
yes, that thing to be surprised. I have a lot of boring time around over here. I read sometimes over here. Though I
have
did
you
not,
finished harry have you finished Harry Potter?
nope, half.
What?
Hey, bro, that does not.
What?
That over there, I feel I'm not learning something. Like as I said, I read this book, and over there it was about self focus and self. Let's say not a book. I read it on internet. I read it on like a page.
So you
Okay,
read an
website,
article?
ebook. It
Okay.
was a 20 page. That's a book for me.
All
Okay,
right.
so so silly, 20 page book for me. Yeah. So thing is that like I was there saying, if you don't get noticed, I don't know what's your view on this. If you don't get noticed in a crowd or a group of people, um, you would always like to do, that's like human psychology, that you would always like to do something out, exception, that people make you feel, noticing, you know, in a good way, huh? You
Yeah,
don't want to go
sure.
and like be a asshole in a crowd.
Yeah, I get it.
So
I get it.
so just taking that experiment to my real life, I just want to color my hair. Just want to look a little bit different. I I
All right, all right, all right.
I have never done that before because my parents totally strictly, they were like, even the tattoos they did not allow me. I just went and got it. That's one thing. I'm just gonna getting it. After
There
that they
you
were
go.
like, you have one, now you can have as many as you want. So just maybe
Sure.
for even maybe for the hair color, just go and get it. How bad it can get. Anything goes fucked up, go bald. That's a fucking awesome style.
Hey guys, that was episode 5 of Curry Burger. If you liked it, consider subscribing or just check us out on Facebook or SoundCloud. All the links to that are in the description below. And as always, best of luck on your own projects and have a great day. See you next week.